Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Clover Rosie Art. Today I am going to show you how to draw in my style. We'll start with how I draw eyes. The first thing I do when drawing an eye is draw an arch, and then I flick it back up at the end. Then I go back and draw another line in the same way that connects to the ends of the first line. This is the top of the eye and the eyelashes. Once I finish that part of the eye, I draw a flatter upside down arch at the bottom. Since this is the main shape of the eye, I usually go back in and change it up a bit until I have the exact shape that I want. Then I draw a circle wherever I want the eyeball to be inside of it. I draw a circle in the top of that circle as the little shine in the eye, and then I draw another circle in the center. After I finish all the circles, I draw lines from the edge of the one circle to the other. Once all of those steps are completed, I have finished the rough sketch of my eye. Now it's time to outline it. My style eyes are basically just a very cartoon stylized version of real life eyes. As you can see, I don't put in a ton of little eyelashes on my eyes. Instead, I just have that one wing-like eyelash. It's different than people normally draw eyelashes, but I think it works well with my style. I hope that this gives you a good idea on how you can draw an eye in my style. And once I'm finished outlining the eye, I just take an eraser and erase all of the little pencil marks before I begin to color it in. First, I am just taking my black Tombow brush pen to color in the eyelash. Normally, I just use the fineliner to color in this part, but since this eye is so big, that would just take a lot longer, and it's just so much faster to color it in this way. Now that I'm finished with the eyelashes, I also color in the pupil with the black. Like I said before, in normal drawings, I would just color it in with my fineliner. Then I take the color that I want to color in the iris with, and I just color it. Sometimes I also take my white gel pen and color in the shine with it to make it look extra white and shiny. And that's it! That's how you can draw an eye in my art style. Next, I am going to show you how to draw a girl in my style. Firstly, I am just sketching out a circle that's more towards the top of the page. Then I'm drawing a line down from it, and sketching the circle into more of a face shape. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but you guys can watch and see what I'm talking about. After I have the basic shape of the face, I sketch a line down the center of it, and then two lines around where the eyes will go. These are my guidelines for drawing the face, so that way everything will be pretty much symmetrical and where it needs to be. I sketch out the shape for the neck before I go in and draw the details of the face. I draw a little curved shape for the nose, and then a small half circle with a small line that doesn't go all the way through to show the illusion of teeth for the mouth. Then I draw on the lips. After I'm finished with the nose and mouth, I draw in the eyes. Since I already gave an in-depth tutorial on how to draw the eyes earlier in the video, I won't go as in-depth right now. I basically drew the eyes just as how I explained before. Sometimes it's hard to get the eyes symmetrical. As you can see in the video, I erased and redrew the eyes until I was happy with them. That's the good thing about sketching first in pencil. You can always redo it if you make a mistake. Of course I can't redraw the eyes until they're actually all the way symmetrical and perfect, because that would take way too long. And if I'm ever getting discouraged that I can't get them to be pretty similar, I just have to remind myself that no one's face is exactly symmetrical. The eyes usually take me a while to do. They're also one of my favorite parts of the drawing though. The main reason that I don't normally show myself sketching the drawings on camera is because I'm erasing and redrawing so much, and I feel like it would just be too repetitive to watch. After I'm finished with those key features on the face, it will be time for the parts where I can personalize the drawing and basically make her my own character. Of course, each of those details from now on will be different depending on the character that you're drawing, but I will explain how I draw what I drew on this character, so you get the general idea of how I go about drawing those aspects. I try to keep her design more simplified in this video, just for the sake of the tutorial. In her eyebrows, I try to give her a little personality, like she is raising an eyebrow at someone. Now it's time for another one of my favorite parts of drawing, the hair. For this girl, I started at the middle of the head and drew a wavy piece of hair all the way down to a little past her shoulder. I don't know why, but I feel like my favorite type of hair to draw is wavy hair. Then I drew another piece of wavy hair on the other side. After I finished those pieces of hair, I decided to have the rest of her hair up in two buns, one on each side. I really like how this hairstyle is turning out so far. Her buns actually sort of remind me of how I drew mini ears on the girl in the last video. I didn't mean for it to be that way, but whatever. I decided to give her a little bow on each of the buns too. Wow, was my mind trying to subconsciously draw her hair based off mini ears? Because mini ears have a bow on them too. That's a little weird. I guess that's what I get for being obsessed with Disney. After the hair was finished being sketched out, I began to go over her neck and draw the part of the upper half of her body. I rounded her shoulders and had them come to a point in the center to add a little something extra to the drawing. I'm pretty sure I saw Applemint do this one time in her videos, and I really liked it, so I decided to do something similar like that in my drawings. Then I basically just drew the shirt on her and I was finished sketching her out. Her shirt is just a simple t-shirt, so it was pretty quick to draw on. And that's how you sketch a girl in my style. Now it's time to outline her. Outlining is a pretty self-explanatory part of the process. I just trace over the lines with my Stabilo 0.4 fineliner. If you don't have a fineliner, I used to just use an ultra fine point Sharpie marker, which works just as well. I normally start by outlining the face. As you can see here, since I didn't draw her eyes as big, I'm not bothering using my black Tombow brush pen to color in the eyelashes and pupils. I'm just using my fineliner. Normally my pencil lines won't be as dark, so they're easier to erase after they're outlined. But I drew them darker for the video so you can see them better on camera. I just want to take this time to thank my friend who suggested this video. It was a really good idea and such a fun video to create. Make sure while you're outlining you're not going on autopilot and outlining the lines that you don't want outlined as well as the ones that you do, like the guidelines on the face. Believe it or not, that happened to me one time and it basically ruined the whole drawing. That was a while ago though. Other than that, outlining is probably the easiest part of my process. If you didn't want to outline it, I suppose you could also just go straight to coloring it in, but in my opinion, I feel as if outlining helps it look more finished and put together. Then, before I start coloring it in, I just erase the pencil marks, as I stated in the clips where I drew the eye. There were a lot more pencil marks on this girl than there were on the eye though. I recommend using one of those big erasers instead of just the ones on the back of the pencil. Now it's time to color the girl. Pick out the colors that you like. As an extra step, you could swatch them off camera to see how they look together, but I normally go straight into coloring it in. I decided to color her eyes, eyebrows, and hair this dark brown. I think she's one of the only characters that I've designed for my channel with normal colored eyes. Maybe I'm just a bit too obsessed with coloring eyes crazy colors like purple, mint green, and pink. Do you like coloring characters with normal colored or unique colored eyes more? Comment down below. Once I color all her hair the same dark brown color, I think it makes it look like less like she's wearing mini ears and more like it's all her hair, which is good. This was not meant to be a Disney drawing by any means. If you want more Disney though, stay tuned for next week's video. I won't say much, but I will say that it has to do with Disney and it's a little different from my normal videos. Or, if you want to watch a Disney video now, watch the last video that I made if you haven't seen it yet, which is a Space Mountain Girl character design. Can I just say that I'm really loving this dark brown hair on her. Sometimes I outline the edges of the section in marker to make it easier to stay in the lines, which is what you can see me doing here. If I'm coloring in a drawing after I outlined it, it sort of reminds me of a coloring book pages of sorts, although better because it's my own custom character. Now that I've finished coloring her hair that dark brown color, I used this cloudy purple-grayish marker to color in the bows. Right when I'm done with that, I realized that I wish I had colored the centers pink, so I go over it with the pink marker, and I also color her lips that same color. I also decide to color her t-shirt that pink too. It appears more of a peachy color on camera, but it's more of a bubblegum pink in real life. I like how I kept her design so simple this time. It works well for her, especially since a lot of the times I tend to go a little overboard with all the detail. Do you like simpler designs or more complex designs? Comment it down below. For her skin, I decided to use this brown that was a little lighter than the brown I used for her hair. Since I am using a brown Crayola marker, the lines turn out a little more streaky on the skin than when I was using the Tombow and Ohuhu markers, which I don't like how that looks as much. But the thing is, I don't have many brown markers, and I wanted to use a color like this on her skin, so it works. Coloring her in doesn't really need as much explaining either. I'm basically just coloring in all the lines. Sometimes I shade a bit in drawings, but I never go all out with the shading like some other artists do, and I don't think I'm going to shade her. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the coloring right now, because I don't think I need to explain anything more. So yeah, I'm just finishing coloring her in right now. Okay, so now that I'm finished coloring her in, I started to outline around her with the purple-gray color that I colored in her bows with. At first, I was just going to outline it once, but once I finished, I wanted to keep on going and outline around that with the pink. After that, I pretty much decided to go all out and just keep on outlining her and switching off from the gray-purple and then the pink. I don't know how I exactly have my ideas for the backgrounds, they just sort of come to me after I'm finished coloring the character. And even when I have an idea for the background, they normally stray from the original idea once I'm finished, and turn out even better than I imagined before. Which is basically what happened here. I hope you enjoyed learning how to draw in my art style. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified every time that I post. And give me a like if you enjoyed the video. Bye, and remember, keep being creative.